Hello, and welcome to Bluecore's first edition of our Rethinking Retail video series. I'm Ben Kruger from our Data Insights and Strategy team, and throughout the series we'll be taking you through advanced uses of the Bluecore platform, hoping to arm you all with the knowledge and tips to make your marketing programs more effective and more efficient, and hopefully inspire you to rethink the way that you approach retail marketing. We'll be starting today's series with customer reactivation and retention. And this is really important because for any given retailer, we see that about a third of annual revenue is driven from repeat buyers. And that's mainly because these repeat shoppers will spend close to 3 times more than a new shopper of yours. And it's also a lot easier to drive an additional purchase from an existing buyer than to go out and try to acquire a new one. And that's mainly because you know a lot about these past shoppers of yours. You know the types of products that they've purchased in the past, the number of times that they've shopped, and when and how often they tend to shop. And then when they're on your website, you know how often they browse and the types of products and content that they engage with. So knowing that, you think it'd be really easy to create personalized email communications to reactivate these customers and keep them in their active buying cycle. Unfortunately, that's a little difficult. And that's mainly because it's hard for marketers to access all of this rich customer data. So what we typically see most marketers do is use the average behaviors of their customers to dictate the different times and content that they send to customers. So let's walk through this a little bit. Let's say you have 2 loyal shoppers here. Mark, who purchases every 30 days, and Jamie, who makes a purchase every 90 days. If we were to use the average buying time frame here of 60 days, you could see that this message would deploy way too late for Mark, who's probably gone on to another competitor of yours and made his purchase elsewhere. So this message is going out way too late. And for Jamie, who purchases every 90, this message is way too early. We expect Jamie to make a purchase every 90 days, so she's acting exactly as we'd expect her to. So sending Jamie an offer or a "we miss you" type message is going to give away a margin and potentially send the wrong signal to Jamie. So what we think that you should do is set an individual cadence for each of your customers. So Mark would be flagged as a 30-day shopper, and Jamie would be flagged as a 90-day shopper, allowing you to react to these changes in these customers' behaviors in real time. And you can do this in Bluecore easily by setting up what we call an at-risk trigger that can deploy every 1, 7, or 30 days and send to customers who have deviated from their individual buying cadence within that time frame. So that helps us understand when we should be sending these messages to each of your customers. Let's talk about what should be in that message. So here we've built some example templates for Mark and Jamie. Starting with Mark, let's look at his past behavior. So his last purchase was a pair of shoes, and Mark typically buys every 30 days. However, it's now been 45 days since his last purchase, so we should definitely be getting in front of him to get him back on our site to make another purchase. Using this information, we can personalize the content that we're sending to Mark. So maybe at the top here, we see that Mark bought a pair of shoes last, so maybe he's a runner. We can send him products that other people who have purchased this pair of shoes have also purchased. So maybe that's a shirt or running shorts. And then below that, we can personalize a promotion for Mark. So maybe that's percentage off or free shipping, something to get him to see the value and come back to your store. And then below that can be followed up with additional personalized content. So maybe it's running, education, something that your brand has to offer. Or it could be additional products like bestsellers or new arrivals in Mark's categories of his preference that we talked about before, based on what we know about what he's purchased and browsed in the past. So we've got the right content at the right time going out to Mark. Hopefully he opens that email, clicks through, and makes another purchase from your store. Jamie, again, using this time frame of 45 days, we know that she typically purchases every 90. So we don't need to send Jamie a reactivation message, but we can take the opportunity to personalize a message to Jamie to perhaps increase her lifetime value and decrease the 90-day purchase time frame that we see Jamie typically behave in. So knowing that she last bought a shirt, we can send her products that would perhaps complete the look. So maybe that's a pair of pants or a sweater to wear over that shirt. And then we can send additional maybe style guides or different content to get Jamie to click through and make yet another purchase and continue that, staying in that active buying state. So we walk through why reactivation and retention is so important, why it's challenging for marketers to do so, and that has to do with going through that customer data at an individual level, and then ways to do it better by sending the right message at the right time. So hopefully you can take these tips and increase the effectiveness of your reactivation campaigns and make your workflows a lot more efficient. Please stay tuned for the rest of the series here. We'll be talking through additional tactics to help you rethink the way that you approach retail marketing. Thank you.